Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. These are my empties for November 2015. This month has just gone by so quick. I don't feel I've used as much as usual. Several old favourites that I've talked about before, so we can skip through them pretty quickly. Bioderma H2O, a normal size bottle. I've talked about it before. I love it. It's my favourite micellar water, and I use it as part of my cleansing routine pretty much all the time. Not on its own, but as I've said before, I generally like to do at least a double cleanse, and I will often use this as one of those cleanses. Additionally, I find it is pretty good at removing eye makeup. Although it's not intended for that. Most eye makeup removers make my eyes sting, and although this doesn't get off the very best waterproof liner or mascara easily, it does the job a lot of days. So I have repurchased that, and I will definitely be using more of it in the future. I used up a relatively new shampoo by Paul Mitchell, or new to me, Colour Protect daily shampoo. This was recommended by my hairdresser. What can I say? I quite liked it. He recommended it to prolong the colour of my highlights. I'm not sure if it did any better with that than any other relatively mild shampoo. I don't wash my hair every day. To be truthful now, my hair is a lot drier than it used to be, and I can usually get away with 4 days, so long as I'm not getting hot and sweaty at the gym. So I rarely wash my hair more than twice a week, and so yeah, I mean, I like a good shampoo, but I didn't feel this was anything to particularly write home about. I don't think I'll be repurchasing it. I will, of course, be repurchasing the Mitchum Advanced Control deodorant. I've talked about that before. It's my deodorant of choice in this hot, sticky time of my life, although not current weather. Now, here's an interesting product, looking rather battered, that I finally used up. It's from Santa Maria Novella, and it's their pasta di mandorle, which is, I think, almond cream. Now, I have a problem, I can't remember if I've talked about this, with rather bizarrely eczema on one of my feet, my right foot, and I've had it now for a couple of years on and off. I used to suffer with quite bad eczema as a teenager in particular, but I don't generally get a lot of trouble with eczema these days over the body, but one foot is absolutely cursed with flaking, itching blisters, which, although they don't look like the eczema I would get elsewhere on my body, my GP assures me that's what it is. And of course, the skin on the sole of your foot is rather different. So, to cut a long story shortish, I'm always on the lookout for lotions, potions, creams to try and help that problem. And this was recommended on a blog that I follow, Aesthetic Alterations, an American blogger. If you want to look her up, she does beautiful photography. She is a professional photographer of fabrics and jewellery and outfits. But quite a bit ago, she was saying this had helped with her eczema, so I went out and bought it. Now, Santa Maria Novella is a shop based on, I don't know how much it is linked now to the original, which is in Florence, which is one of those old shops going since practically the Middle Ages, when the monks were busy making potions. Hence the very plain packaging with quite old-fashioned sticky labels that have worn away. But they do have several outposts now in London. I think the original one used to be in Elizabeth Street, but there's certainly one in on Piccadilly, and I think one in the city. I got this at the Piccadilly branch. Now, initially, I don't know if there's kind of trace left at the bottom. You can see it's this rather gungy, caramel coloured, quite thick paste. Smells very strongly of almond, very pleasant smell. Initially, I had really, really good results with this. It isn't specifically formulated for treating eczema. It's formulated for treating dry skin on hands and feet. And I do like it, and I did use it on and off for the probably 18 months I've had this. Uh, my eczema on the feet hasn't gone. It's happens to be better at the moment. It often is better in colder weather, but it comes and goes. But I don't know what to say about this product because it's a nice product to use. It's quite greasy on the skin. It's a heavy duty moisturiser. There's no two ways about it. So if you're using it on your feet or your hands, I would say you want to be using it kind of last thing at night when you're putting your feet up or, you know, resting and not doing stuff with your hands. But it does do the trick, I think, with ordinary dry skin. And some people might find it worth trying for the eczema. As I say, I was initially thought it had done the miracle, but the eczema came back. So it's quite expensive and obviously quite hard to come by if you're not in London, but worth looking at. There's an outpost in New York and probably other capital cities as well by now. I'm throwing away a few things that I haven't used up, but they need to go. Corrie's sunscreen. Didn't really need much extra sunscreen this summer. I do try to wear an SPF of at least 20 in my daily moisturisers, but I liked this one, non-chemical sunscreen, but I don't want to keep it because they don't last well. As I say, didn't have a lot of use for it this summer. One of my old MAC shadows, Fusion Gold, a Metal X cream shadow. I looked at the other day and it's having a major clear out, and cream it is no more. I mean, if you scrub around, you can get a bit of colour, but not much. It's basically dried up, barely used. Chucking it. 2 Gungy lip glosses. Not a great gloss wearer, although I've been enjoying the Chanel Glossomers. Here's a Lancome Juicy Tube. They were all the rage a few years ago, but this is so gunged up I can't even get into it. And somebody gave me the Bobbi Brown ones last Christmas, a set of 4. I think I gave a couple away. I really didn't like them. They've got a very strange smell. I guess it's meant to be spearmint, but it tastes like stale mouthwash to me. So that's going. Sorry, Bobby. That was a no. And then I also had 2 decent sized samples of Le Lift from Chanel. One was the anti-wrinkle cream, rich cream, and one was the contouring massage mask. The mask, it didn't have really very clear instructions. It just says it's a recontouring mask for face and neck. If you were meant to take it off, I didn't. I just kind of put a thin layer on at night, and it was quite a nice product. All the Chanel skin creams are very strongly fragranced, and fragrance doesn't really bother me too much unless I don't like the smell. I like the smell of this. It didn't cause any sensitivity, but it is strong, so it will put a lot of people off. I didn't think the rich cream did anything spectacular for my skin at all. The problem with Chanel skincare, in my opinion, is, albeit these samples come in relatively hygienic tubes, most of the range, apart from their range, and I forgot what it's called, but it's for oily skin, so not for me. All the others seem to come by and large in pots, which look very pretty, but are wholly unhygienic. And there's no way I'm shelling out all that money for something which, if it did have any active ingredients, certainly wouldn't have by the time you'd unscrewed the lid and let it expose to the air for any length of time. So I think Chanel miss a trick there. French packaging is usually much more scientific than Chanel's is. I don't know why they do this with premium products, but that's what essentially puts me off shelling out for Chanel's skincare. So those were my fairly meagre empties and throwaways for November. I can't believe we're into the last month. Let's see what it brings. Until next time, bye for now.